I stood in the living room, heart pounding, as Grandma's sharp words cut through the air like a knife. My family stared, silent, as I finally told her to stop controlling us. Then, my mom's voice shook. If you can't respect her, you're no longer part of this family. The door slammed behind me, and I was alone. Before we start, let us know in the comments section where you're watching from. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. I was 24, living with my parents, trying to keep the peace. Grandma lived with us, and her rules were the law. She decided what we ate, wore, and even who we talked to. That day, she yelled at my little sister, Lily, for wearing the wrong dress. I snapped. Stop controlling us. I shouted. Her eyes narrowed, and she called me ungrateful. My parents froze, shocked. I felt my stomach twist, knowing I'd crossed a line. Mom pulled me aside, her face red. Grandma raised us. She deserves respect. I tried explaining how Grandma's control hurt us, but Mom wouldn't listen. Dad just shook his head, siding with her. That night, I couldn't sleep, replaying the fight. I loved my family, but I couldn't keep quiet anymore. Was I wrong to speak up? The next morning, the house was quiet. Nobody talked to me. Lily avoided my eyes at breakfast, and Dad left for work early. Grandma sat at the table, smirking like she'd won. I tried talking to Mom, but she cut me off. You disrespected our family, she said. Pack your things. My heart sank. I didn't expect them to choose Grandma over me. I stuffed clothes into a bag, my hand shaking. Lily slipped into my room, whispering, I'm sorry. She hugged me, tears in her eyes. I told her it wasn't her fault, but I felt like I was abandoning her. As I walked out, Grandma's voice followed, You'll regret this. I didn't look back, but her words stuck with me. I moved in with my friend Sarah, who let me crash on her couch. Her tiny apartment felt like freedom, but I was scared. I had a part-time job at a coffee shop, but no real plan. Every night, I checked my phone, hoping Mom or Dad would call. They didn't. I kept thinking about Lily, stuck with Grandma's rules. Sarah pushed me to keep going. You did the right thing, she said, handing me a pizza slice. I wasn't so sure. I missed my family, even with all the fighting. But I couldn't go back and pretend Grandma wasn't toxic. I had to figure out who I was without them. A week later, I called Mom, hoping to fix things. She answered, but her voice was cold. You need to apologize to Grandma, she said. I told her Grandma's control was wrong, but she hung up. I sat on Sarah's couch, feeling like I'd lost them for good. I wanted to scream. That night, I wrote a letter to Lily, telling her I loved her and to stay strong. I didn't know if she'd get it, but I had to try. Sarah saw me crying and hugged me. You're not alone, she said. I nodded, but the hole in my chest wouldn't go away. Work at the coffee shop kept me busy. My boss, Mike, was kind and gave me extra shifts. I started saving money, dreaming of my own place. Customers liked my smile, but inside, I felt empty. I kept wondering if I'd made a mistake standing up to Grandma. One day, a regular, an older woman named Clara, noticed I was quiet. Family trouble? She asked. I nodded, spilling a little about Grandma. Clara listened and said, sometimes, family means choosing who you let in. Her words stuck with me. Maybe I could build a new family, one that didn't hurt. I started hanging out with new people from work. They were fun, and for the first time, I laughed without feeling guilty. One night, we went to a local band show. I danced, forgetting Grandma's voice in my head. It felt good to be free, even for a moment. But when I got back to Sarah's, I saw a text from Lily. Grandma threw out your letter. My heart broke. I wanted to protect Lily, but I couldn't. I replied, telling her to call me anytime. I didn't know if she would, but I had to keep trying. A month later, Dad showed up at the coffee shop. I froze, holding a tray of cups. He looked tired, older. We need to talk, he said. We sat in a corner, and he told me Grandma was sick. She wants to see you. My stomach twisted. I didn't want to go back. I told Dad I couldn't forgive her yet. He got mad, saying I was selfish. Family sticks together, he said, walking out. I stood there, feeling like a kid again, scared of disappointing him. But I wasn't a kid anymore. I had to choose myself. Sarah helped me process Dad's visit. "You don't owe them anything," she said. I knew she was right, but guilt gnawed at me. I kept thinking about Grandma being sick. Was I cruel for staying away? I called Lily, but Grandma answered, saying, "Don't call here again." I hung up, shaking. I wasn't going back to that house, not while Grandma controlled everything. I started looking for my own apartment, determined to build a life without her shadow. It was scary, but I felt stronger every day at work. I got closer to a coworker, Jake. He was funny, with a big smile, and he listened when I talked about my family. One day, he invited me to a movie. I said yes, nervous but excited. It was my first date since leaving home. The movie was fun, and afterward, we got ice cream. I told Jake about Grandma, and he didn't judge me. "You're brave," he said. I blushed, feeling seen. For the first time, I thought maybe I could let someone new in. I got a call from an unknown number. It was Lily, using a friend's phone. "I miss you," she whispered. She said Grandma was worse, and Mom and Dad were stressed. Lily felt trapped. I told her she could always come to me, no matter what. I hung up, worried. I wanted to save Lily, but I didn't know how. I talked to Sarah, who suggested I write to Lily's school counselor. It felt like a small step, but I had to do something. I wasn't giving up on my sister. I found a tiny studio apartment I could afford. Signing the lease felt like a huge win. Sarah helped me move in, and we painted the walls blue. For the first time, I had a space that was mine. No Grandma, no rules, just me. That night, I sat on the floor, eating takeout, staring at my empty walls. I felt proud but lonely. I texted Jake, and he replied with a silly meme. I smiled, realizing I was building something new, even if it was hard. I got a letter from Mom. She said Grandma was in the hospital and I should visit. "She's family," Mom wrote. I didn't want to go, but guilt tugged at me. I talked to Clara, the coffee shop regular, who said, "Family doesn't mean you owe them pain." I decided not to go. I wrote Mom back, saying I loved them but couldn't return to that control. I mailed the letter, hands shaking. I hoped they'd understand someday, but I was done living in Grandma's shadow. Jake and I started hanging out more. He took me to a park, where we fed ducks and talked for hours. He shared how his own family wasn't perfect, and it made me feel less alone. I liked how easy it was to be with him. One night, he kissed me under a streetlight. My heart raced, but it felt right. I was scared to trust someone new, but Jake made me want to try. I went home smiling, feeling like I was finally moving forward. Lily called again, crying. She said Grandma was home but worse, yelling all the time. "I can't stay here," she said. I told her to pack a bag and meet me at Sarah's old place. I drove there, heart pounding, ready to protect her. When Lily arrived, she hugged me tight. We sat up all night, talking. She was scared but wanted to be free. I promised to help her, no matter what. For the first time, I felt like I could be the sister she needed. Mom and Dad found out Lily was with me. They showed up at my apartment, furious. "You're tearing this family apart," Mom yelled. I stayed calm, saying Lily deserved to feel safe. Dad looked torn but didn't speak. They left, threatening to come back. Lily cried, scared they'd force her home. I hugged her, promising we'd figure it out. I called a lawyer friend of Sarah's, hoping for advice. I wasn't letting Grandma or anyone control us anymore. Lily moved in with me. My apartment was small, but we made it work. I got her enrolled in a new school, and she started smiling again. We cooked dinners together, laughing like we used to. It felt like a fresh start. But I worried about Mom and Dad. They hadn't called since the fight. I missed them, but I couldn't go back to how things were. Lily and I were building something new, and that gave me hope. Grandma called me one night. Her voice was weak, not sharp like before. "I'm sorry," she said, shocking me. She admitted she'd been too hard on us. I didn't know if I could trust her, but I listened. She asked to see me and Lily. I talked to Lily, who was nervous but curious. We agreed to meet Grandma at a park, not her house. I wasn't ready to forgive, but maybe we could talk. It felt like a small step, but a big one for me. We met Grandma at the park. She looked frail, leaning on her cane. She apologized again, tears in her eyes. "I didn't know how to love right," she said. Lily cried, and I held her hand. I wanted to believe Grandma, but I was cautious. We talked for an hour. Grandma promised to change, but I said we needed time. She nodded, understanding. As we left, I felt lighter, like maybe healing was possible. But I wasn't rushing back. Lily and I visited Grandma a few times. She was softer, listening more. It was weird but nice. Mom and Dad joined one visit, and it was awkward. They didn't apologize, but they hugged Lily. I stayed quiet, still hurt. Home, Lily said she wanted to see them more. I agreed, but I set boundaries. No more control, no more Grandma's rules. I was proud of us for standing strong, even if it was hard. Jake asked me to be his girlfriend, and I said yes. We celebrated with a picnic. Just us. He made me laugh, and I felt safe with him. Lily teased me, calling him my prince. I was finally letting myself be happy. I started therapy to deal with the family stuff. It helped me see I wasn't wrong for standing up. I was learning to forgive myself for the guilt and focus on my new life with Lily and Jake. Mom called, asking to meet. We went to a cafe, just us. She apologized for choosing Grandma over me. I was scared, she said. I cried, admitting I missed her. We didn't fix everything, but it was a start. Dad was harder. He didn't apologize, but he listened when I talked. I told him I needed respect, not control. He nodded, and I hoped he'd try. Rebuilding with them would take time, but I was open. Lily joined a school art club and started painting. Her work was amazing, full of color. She said it helped her feel free. I hung her paintings in our apartment, proud of her. She was growing into herself. One night, she told me she wanted to talk to Grandma alone. I was nervous, but I let her go. She came back smiling, saying Grandma listened. I hugged her, amazed at her strength. We were both healing. Jake met Lily, and they got along great. He taught her silly card games, and we laughed like a little family. Sarah joined us sometimes, bringing her new girlfriend. Our apartment felt full of love, not controlled. I realized family wasn't just blood. It was the people who lifted you up. I still talk to Mom and Dad, but my real home was with Lily, Jake, and my friends. I was finally at peace. Grandma kept trying. She sent me a letter, saying she was proud of me. It was short, but it meant a lot. I visited her, and she showed me old photos, telling stories without anger. She was different now. Lily and I invited her to our apartment. She came, looking nervous. We ate dinner and laughed a little. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. I didn't trust her fully, but I was open to trying. A year after leaving, I looked at my life, a job I liked, a home with Lily, Jake by my side, and friends who felt like family. Mom and Dad were trying, and Grandma was changing. I wasn't the scared girl who left home anymore. Standing up to Grandma cost me a lot, but it gave me more. I found my strength, my voice, and my people. I wasn't alone anymore. I was free, and I was enough.